When you look at what the U.S. strategy is, part of it is to get these Gulf countries to have better cooperation and further intensify their efforts against ISIS. This potentially makes that more difficult. If you look at the ties the U.S. has across the region, it has U.S. military assets across these countries. The coalition is using a key air base in Qatar, and so it's unclear how exactly these Gulf countries are going to try to use that air base when they've cut diplomatic ties with Qatar. The U.S. also hosts the forward headquarters of its central command there. That intended cooperation between these countries was on display a few weeks ago when President Trump traveled to Saudi Arabia. He addressed leaders of Arab countries and focused much of his speech on combating extremism in that part of the world. Now that alliance is fracturing as these countries turn against Qatar and suspend diplomatic, economic, and military ties. And so that is why Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, traveling in Australia, says he wants these countries to work out these issues.
A growing list of some irritants in the region that have been there for some time, and obviously they have now bubbled up to a level that countries decided they needed to take action in an effort to have those differences addressed. We certainly would encourage the parties to sit down together and address these differences. If there's any role that we can play in terms of helping them address those, we think it is important that the GCC remain unified.
Yet the Saudi government is calling for all brotherly countries and companies to sever their diplomatic ties with Qatar. This has to do with long-standing regional power issues, a perception of Qatar that perhaps it is supporting Iran, that is the arch rival of Saudi Arabia in all this. The United Arab Emirates has released a statement on it severing ties with Qatar. It writes, quote, "The UAE is taking these decisive measures as a result of Qatar's continued support, funding, and hosting of terror groups, primarily Islamic Brotherhood, and its sustained endeavors to promote the ideologies of Daesh and al-Qaeda across its direct and indirect media." In a statement, Qatar called these allegations baseless and unfounded. Shannon.
All right, Rich Hudson live for us at the State Department. Thank you, Rich.